3, 2, 1.
This is episode number 387 of WP Watercooler, Gutenberg full-site editing in WordPress.
Dun, dun, dun.
Brought to you by Serverpress, Maker's Desktop Server. They make local WordPress development easy. Check them out over at serverpress.com.
Okay.
Support us over on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/WP Watercooler. I'm Jason Tucker. I'm an IT director and web developer. You can find me over at Jason Tucker on Twitter.
Hey.
I'm Steve Zangin. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive, and I run the OC WordPress meetup.
Hey. Hey, I'm Say Reed, and I make WordPress, preach WordPress, teach WordPress, and have a bad microphone on Say Reed Media at all the things.
And it's your boy, Jason Cosper.
AKA Fat Mulliwig. Follow us over on all the very places that you can find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all those other places. We'd appreciate that. And you can go and hang out with us on Discord. Go to wpwatercooler.com/Discord, where you can learn how to hang out with us over there. It's going to be important soon because we're going to be doing some really fun things with Discord and that Discord community that we're building up.
We'll be playing video games, trading Bitcoin, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all the things the internet people do.
Isn't that what you do on Discord?
Everyone wants to chat with me offline. They know that. We like to say, what is your problem for real? I will tell you. It works like that.
And there's actually audio chat on there too, which is pretty fun. So
you can hear us more.
Yeah. Just,
I just want to get this out of the way. I apologize to all three of you and the rest of the listening community for my lack of proper sound today. I apologize.
You had a year to figure this out, Say. A year to figure this out, and you didn't figure it out.
What do you mean a year?
A year of COVID.
Look, I'm sorry.
It was the year of Zoom.
Oh, yeah. I just forgot my headphones, so everyone just took it. I'm sorry.
I think we'll manage. We'll be good.
Anyway, let's talk about this thing because I have a lot to say.
What?
I know.
So unlike you.
Really unlike me. Hey, raise your hand. Wait, maybe I shouldn't do this at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Go ahead.
Raise your hand if you don't think full site editing should be coming out in a WordPress release next.
Oh, I thought you meant it all.
Oh.
I'm joking. It's still not ready for prime time, is what you're asking.
That beta, I've never betaed a beta, so beta.
Oh, I beta every iPhone release that comes out, and I'm one of those people that the phone crashes in the middle of a phone call. I crash when I'm sending text messages. I use a new emoji and it's freaking out. All those sorts of things. So yeah, betas are supposed to be jacked up. It's how betas work, especially early betas. But this is scary considering that this beta is supposed to come out soonish.
Yeah, it's still very beta. I think we could probably call it an alpha at this point.
Yeah.
Call it a gamma. I am going with gamma. I don't think it's beta. I'm sorry.
So I gotta say, out of the four of us, I think I'm the only one that actually couldn't get it to load at all. So I followed all the instructions. I have the tab in there for site editing, and I literally just won't load at all on my local machine.
Him? No, just kidding.
What's that?
So don't hire him because he doesn't know how to operate.
Technology is hard.
That was a joke. I want to offer a quick disclaimer. Not a disclaimer, but a caveat or something to that nature.
An asterisk.
An asterisk. I really appreciate the work that folks are doing on this. I think the work that Helen Husinde does, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, is great, and she's done some great Twitch streams, and I am so happy about the transparency that Josefa exhibited in putting a video transcript of a meeting that they had about full site editing, both a transcript and a video on the post about this. And I appreciate all of that so greatly. And I think it's so important. So I just want to say that all of the really not great things I'm going to say about full site editing are not personal and have nothing to do with those people.
Jason, how long have we been on the air?
8 freaking years.
8 years.
Never not liked something.
Listen, we are very harsh and very critical on the show, and we have been of several platforms and plugins and themes and all kinds of stuff. Right? We're not knocking the developers that are working hard to get this out. Right?
No.
In nowhere was saying that. We're all software developers, right? We get how this process works, right? So just because we're critical doesn't mean we don't like it. Wait.
We don't like the people building it.
We love the people building it, right?
Look, we used Gmail in beta for 10 years. It had the beta logo for 10 years. So I get it.
Okay, Say has notes. I would like to point out that because of Gmail, because of its constant beta status, because of all of these bits of software from like the Web 2.0 days to about the mid 2010s, you slap a beta tag on it just to be like it's not fully ready yet. Although in Google's case, like for Gmail and being in beta for 10 years, they shipped an actual like workable product. This is that kind of raises the expectations of what a beta should be. This does not meet those expectations, but that's okay because this is actually what the traditional definition of a beta is: something that's shaggy, something that doesn't work quite as you would expect.
Raggy?
I was thinking more boombastic, but okay.
I went with a different shaggy. Turns out there's lots of shaggy. So shaggy's a trigger word here.
Go ahead. Casper?
No, I mean that's basically it. This is more of what people should consider a beta because it is a little rougher around the edges than what you might think of. Yeah.
I'm really concerned about the announcement that this is coming out in 5.8. I think that one of the major flaws that happened with the Gutenberg rollout was the rollout and not Gutenberg. I think Gutenberg has to happen, and I have for a long time. But Gutenberg was rolled out poorly. It caused a rift in the community, and caused developers to just completely ignore it, not test it, not use it, badmouth it, just immediately. I think we talked about this back in the day. I had developers who I was working on client sides with who just randomly installed Classic Editor just as a matter of course. Like they were like, oh, we just blocked that because it breaks things. So that was, in my opinion, not the fault of Gutenberg. That was the fault of the rollout of Gutenberg. It was too soon, and it was rushed out because it was rushed out in order to provide fodder for the state of the word in 20, whatever year that was. And we all felt that way at the time. And I'm not sure what the rush is. I know there's a 10-year map, but like I feel like we're just heading down that exact same road again where we're going to be like, push this stuff on there. People are just starting to embrace Gutenberg and the block editor and the blocks in general. I feel like there's starting to be a little bit of acceptance from more developers. People are experimenting with it and using it. I feel like this is going to just push everyone away again and cause problems. They're just going to dismiss it. And it's not ready. 5.8 is coming out really soon. Like July?
Yeah.
July.
Like, I guess there might be a lot of room for improvement. I'll do my best to maybe make some comments somewhere and something can help. I guess maybe there's no, but anyway, I just
a thing that's a little different about when they rolled out Gutenberg versus how they're going to roll out full site editing is nobody is being forced into using full site editing on their site. They can still use the same theme that they found on ThemeForest or whatever on the repo. They don't have to use full site editing unless they want to. As to where Gutenberg, it was like, oh hey, there's a new post editor. Get used to it or install the classic editor. So like at the very least, even though I feel like, yeah, they might be rolling this in a bit too soon, I think that the fact that you actually have to go out of your way to do work with the full site editor makes it not as wild of a transition as the Gutenberg one, personally.
So can I ask you a question? Do you know then, is the rollout is going to be built into Gutenberg, right? Or it's going to be built into 5.8, right? So it will be there, but you
Sure.
don't have to use it. And if it doesn't work on your theme, like I actually didn't test this. Is it
Doesn't
the
your,
GT
doesn't
one?
your theme have to be compatible to even turn it on?
I
Like
don't
it
know.
doesn't even
That's
appear.
really what I'm asking. Like that's my
Right.
Yeah.
question. I don't know.
It doesn't. It won't even appear for you if your theme is not full site editable, full site editing compatible.
All right. Well, that's at least good. So you have to
Absolutely.
have so that makes me feel a lot better. I just tested it, and when you put on another theme, the little site editor goes away and all of that. So that isn't there because it also incidentally changes a bunch of other tabs on the side. For example, there's no more menu link in the appearance tab. You can only get to editing menu from the customizer, which in theory, it's nice to only have one spot to edit a thing. However, that's not where that spot has been for the last always. So the fact that it doesn't link to that page it's those types of little things where it's like, okay, maybe we don't want to have the page and the admin where you edit menus anymore, but taking away the menu button that's been there for literally forever, it's I don't know what version since, and not just having that link into the customizer and opening up the menu page. It's those types of little things that confuse the heck out of people. So
There's a training issue.
yeah, there's no explanation, there's no information, and maybe that's because this is the beta, maybe that's coming, and if people don't have their full site theme activated, they won't even see it, so that's good.
I found the editor pretty jarring, to be perfectly honest. Like when I first loaded it up and started working with it, which again, I've just started working with Gutenberg because these three fine individuals have been giving me crap about it. So I thought I'd actually give it a shot. It's been working just fine. Like Gutenberg by itself is great, and knowing how Gutenberg works now, I can at least figure out like how the full site editor works, but it's like a whole nother language. I can't remember what it was that I texted to Cosper when we were doing this, but it was like it was just such a weird, maybe Cosper remembers, but it was such a weird interface that I was working through, that trying to move all the blocks around and move all the pieces around. And I started seeing some cool stuff, but I also started seeing some things where I'm just like, oh, why is this like this? I don't know if somebody's gonna be able to figure out how to do this. I think at one point I said, I don't know if the cat blog people are gonna be able to figure this out.
You know what? No, that's a great point, because that's really my question. Who is this for?
Yeah.
Is this for the average end user? Because at least like this, it's like understanding page templates and headers and all this. That is like, it was confusing to us, and I understand the template hierarchy and I built themes from scratch, so I understand how they work. But the whole concept, like, it was confusing. The page templates, and this template's going to affect this other template, and do you want to? I was like, what is even what part template?
I know who this. I know exactly who this is for, right? This is for anybody that is currently using Divi or Beaver Builder or Elementor, right? It's that clientele.
I don't even like Beaver Builder, sorry guys. And it is nowhere near this. And this has nothing on Divi or Elementor. Nothing.
I get it, but these are for people that want full control over their website without having to hire a developer. That's who this is targeted for.
Yeah, I think this is for WordPress.com's customers.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Sure. I feel more or less like this is for what would be considered an end user, and we the four of us right here are not end users. We go a little bit further than that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I work with end users all the time. I train end users. This is not something they want, and this is not something that I understand things have to iterate to get to the point where it is usable. But the way that it looks now and the way that it operates now, this is not usable for the end user.
But the end user you're thinking of, and you're right, the end user you're thinking of is overwhelmed by the existing WordPress interface, right? So the existing WordPress dashboard is confusing to them. So this is just adding more stuff.
This is not making things easier. This is not like, here's a place to change your, header spacing in the thing. Well, I set up a navigation menu and can't even preview the thing on the page, and it brought it in, and it's like all one line. Like,
all right.
What is that?
So we spent 15, 16 minutes now being pretty negative, right? Maybe we can change the air a little bit on this on today's podcast, right? I say you keep cutting out.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
It's been a rough week.
I hear you. One of the resources, even though I couldn't load Full Site Editor, I did find a resource called fullsiteediting.com. I think that is the name of the website. Let me pull that up here. Full Site Editing. Fullsiteediting.com will give you a whole bunch of information on full site editing, and then links to some of the themes that other people are building that they're readying for the full site editor.
I actually probably want to test some of those themes, because I find that the default themes are so bland. Like, I think those other themes would probably have better execution. Sorry.
One of the themes that's great. One of the themes that I think you should look at is called Armando. But what I found kind of hidden, they link to the theme, and Jason, I'll share this link with you. But they link to the theme in Armando. But if you look at the GitHub repo that is housing Armando, it's actually a whole course about full site editing that this person has developed. So the theme is just one little part of their GitHub repo, and I just put the link in the chat there. So that I thought that was kind of cool. So that site and this course will teach you about full site editing if it's something that you are interested in.
Just don't understand why it has to be released right now.
What I don't get is how did no other so there's no other CMS or no other website building tool or anything using the term full site editor. It feels like we jumped into some namespace that we didn't really check, and now we're going to start having some collisions at some point.
Are you saying that in comparison to some other site building tools that are out there, full site editing is just assumed? It's assumed that it's part of the tool.
Yeah, but it just seems weird that we just kind of jumped into this term full site editor, and we're Gutenberg is pretty unique, but it's like, is this unique? I'm not sure if this is unique or not.
But and I think what you're talking about is a little bit of the branding danger. The only reason we call it Gutenberg is because it was called Gutenberg as they were developing it. It's actually called the block editor, right? That's the official name for it in WordPress, but we still call it Gutenberg, right? So full site editing is sort of the name of the project. Once it's wrapped in, it's WordPress, right? That's just sort of part of WordPress. It's a feature, right? And so that's sort of the danger in these branding words that will probably stick around forever.
Well, one thing that's interesting about this site that you brought to our attention here is they describe this as for developers, and this is a term that we should probably be using more of, and I think this is a great term that kind of describes this. But a site creator, which is the new version of webmaster, if you will. It's the person who's going to go in and make those changes and do all the different changes onto the site. I think I really like the term site creator as a way of kind of, differentiating that a little bit between developers and somebody who's kind of building the site.
And here's the thing, in my mind, I think it's a great term. A site creator is who I was describing before, right? Maybe full site editing sounds a little grandiose, because really what they want to do is be able to go in and change the logo in the header, right? Or change the color of the header, right? It's sort of the Beaver Themer part of Beaver Builder, right? Beaver Themer
Right.
allows you to change the header and the footer and the look and feel, make some changes to the layout of like your post pages, things like that. That's what a site creator is looking for. Full site editing what you're implying with that term, and I think the problem with it is it says every part of the website can be edited and I can build whatever I want, right? I have full design control over my website. I don't need a web developer anymore. That's what that implies, and that's why it's a little grandiose.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how at some point applying roles and the restrictions of a role within full site editor and how you're going to kind of do that. I know in Beaver Builder, they have the ability to essentially lock down various modules that you drag in, and then you can kind of lock those pieces down. I'm hoping that that sort of thing does come to
that has
full
to
site
happen.
editing.
Otherwise, you build a site for someone and you get it back, and it's like it's in shambles. They're like,
Well,
I broke it. You're like, you did break it. You broke it.
And if not, you can use something like user role editor to control, to get a little bit more granular with those roles, right? I'm assuming, I'm making the assumption that will be built in. What's that?
Work with your whole thing where you have you don't roll out changes to the site, the themes and the plugins. You've got that whole system where it's like you never actually update on the site, right? It's all so how does this factor into that? Like, would you be able to do, I mean, you'd still be able to push staging sites, obviously, but like.
To me, the full site editor is content, right? And so it's part of the database. The content is not saved to the GitHub repo, right?
Right.
So those are
your clients could be in here doing whatever.
Yeah.
I guess you protect your theme from, like, you could have a theme that has full site editing, but the header is locked or something like that.
Possibly. These are what we're talking. Yeah, what we're talking about is configuration files, right? And I consider configuration files part of content.
So, but you wouldn't, like, that's the thing. Because it's part of content, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be part of that upload process that you currently have. And so let's say you had a client who had full site editing and a full site editing theme. Where would you, as the agency, then make changes to that? You wouldn't do it necessarily in your Git repo or whatever, because it's content. So you do it on the site.
Yep. And I think that's just. I think it's just part of the strategy. Each client's going to be a little bit different, right? Some clients will actually, assuming that full site editing will be user role based, right? We'll have certain user roles that can access it and certain ones that can't, right? So that the client can't go in and make a mistake, right? But you're right. That's not going to be part of code.
Is that something that's already part of this, for example, that it's like only admins can access the site editor? That's something
I can't load it at all, so I can't answer that question. I just tried the Armando theme, which was in that full site editing site, and even that one won't load for me. So there's something on my local machine that just doesn't like this. What's that? You're cutting out again, Sai.
Yeah, I think your CRISPR thing he's doing.
Turn off crisp.
My fault.
Yeah, there you go. Now we can hear you.
Now you can hear me. So my attempt to be heard better was.
Yeah, but I can also hear me.
Cool. Anyway, let's just make my point and then I'll mute myself. I'm going to share my screen real quick. One of the screens. Hold on. I just want to show this one thing. Can you see this? Yes?
No. Yes. Now we're seeing it.
So see over here, this is just I just spun up a nothing, right? But this is, in theory, the navigation menu, okay? And there's not really a ton I can do over here. I mean, there's some line height, some spacing or whatever, but then I come over here and it's like, here you go. What is that? Like, that's not the same. No, it's not. Like, what is that? No, I mean, right? Anybody? No.
And I'm assuming that is some sort of a bug, right? I'm assuming that there's something that changed in the style sheets that's causing that, right? So in the update or the Ajax that's being loaded, it's a miss on their part. So some style sheet didn't get loaded properly. That's all that is.
I mean, I know that, but like,
but that I
the
get
whole
it.
point here. I'm like, I can't even test it. What is that? Like, I have to go troubleshoot what's wrong with the menu and go examine the CSS. I know. I'm sorry. I'm ranting.
I totally get it, but I would actually, that kind of thing, I'd expect that in a beta.
You're being so nice today, Steve.
I'm tired. Yeah.
See, I'm tired and I'm being punchy and kind of harsh. You're tired and you're being nice.
Look, exhaustion affects everybody a little bit differently, I guess.
It really does.
This topic that I'm about to say might end up being something we should talk about for a dev branch. But what is the future of GitHub? Like, what is the future of this sort of stuff? Because after Say was talking about this, it started making me think a little bit. Like, what is the future of that when everything in what you were saying, Steve, everything is content? Because at this point, like, the entire site is going to be content. I don't necessarily agree with that. How are you rolling back? How are you checking in? How do multiple people work on the same thing at the same time? Like, how do you do any of that if the whole thing is built this way?
Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't have an answer for that, but I'll tell you what ACF does, right? So ACF actually Advanced Custom Fields has a hidden feature called ACF Sync. And when you turn it on, you can if it's on when you're editing your ACF fields on your machine, it'll actually save those out to JSON files within your code. And so that's how we manage our ACF changes from site to site. Is it goes into GitHub, and so it's the only platform I found that does that. And so I'd like to see people borrow stuff like that, where you're saving those config files out to the local device so they can be committed.
To anything.
Yeah, it's just being more extrapolated, and you're having to figure out, like, where is this supposed to reside, and how do I check in a change? How do I manage those things? You know, there's a whole bunch of those. WP Site Sync does something similar to that.
I was going to mention
things between the two.
I was going to mention them as well, and I see an opportunity for a service, like a software as a service for something like this, right? WP Site Sync is about the closest I can come up with right now. But there's another tool we use called PAW. PAW, and PAW is for testing APIs. It's essentially what we use it for. But we have a Teams version of it because as we're working on things locally, it commits to their own PAW GitHub repo so that we can share those API calls and those testing platforms. And so I think those types of things that you're talking about are maturing, right? And there is an opportunity for a service like what you're talking about. And
I mean,
WP Site Sync's about the closest.
This creating a whole new world is literally creating another level of services that have been built around kind of the existing workflows that happen with site development. And with this move toward, it all being on the site, it all one thing, it really does open up a whole nother level of the ecosystem for more solutions. Like, obviously, people were able to tap into the Gutenberg to, launch the first collection of themes, like how whatever got bought by WP Engine, like that's a whole nother level of new stuff. So I suppose on that tip, it's kind of exciting because it's introducing all of these new opportunities. And, we always get rough around change. Everyone does that. I am not opposed to change or full site editing. I just am opposed to moving so fast that you alienate your community on the way. That is what continues to be my problem with it. Everyone who's in the inner circle is like, this is great, it's ready, we know what it is. And there are steps being made to improve that communication so that everyone feels that way. But it's just, the WordPress community is so huge and so widespread that this is only still being talked about by the tiniest little group of people. But it's going to be launching into the real world and into the real core. And it just, to me, it really just seems like it's just rushing, and I don't know why we're rushing.
Right.
So
Right.
just before we wrap up, I know we're at the 30-minute mark. I do want to shout out Helen has been doing, she hasn't done one for a few weeks, Twitch videos of the full site editor, like as she's been working through it.
Right.
And she's been seeing a lot of the warts that we have and shows them off. I know we record on Friday as a podcast. You can listen to it whenever, but if you're not, if it's like Friday and you're not really doing anything, take a look at, we'll put it in the show notes, at Helen's full site editing video. It's like 3 hours long, and which is just like, it's hard for me to even wrap my head around. I put it on 2x and watched it, and it really was eye-opening for a lot of the stuff that's capable in the full site editor. So, if you can't play with it on your own site, at least kind of see what Helen, who is like one of the people who holds the keys to the kingdom for WordPress releases, does with this. Like even she has struggles. So don't think that, just because you're having a problem with it, that people who actually know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you to her and again to Josefa for being so transparent and open. I still think that we should take more time, but at least they are doing that, and I am really grateful for that. So high five and applause to them.
Yep.
So thank you. And
Well,
I'm
that about wraps it up. Make sure you go over to our new Discord server and check that out. Go to wpwatercooler.com/Discord. Talk to y'all later. Here's our outro. You can subscribe to this content. Go over to wpwatercooler.com/subscribe, where you can learn how to subscribe to this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. If you've been watching us, you've most likely been watching us on YouTube. Talk to y'all later. You have a good one. Bye-bye.